Hi everybody, welcome to another vlog. I'm sick. It's a sick day. I've been sick for the past sort of like 3 days, and I'm sick of being sick. So today I wanted to get out of the house, get some fresh air, it's not raining for a change, and just do things that will make me feel a little bit better. And one of the things that always makes me feel better, no matter what, is knitting. So I thought I'd take you along for a sick day. So excuse my super red nose and my stuffy voice. But you know, that's just reality sometimes. Sometimes you're sick and you just gotta do what you gotta do to feel better. I've come out to my local park just to sit and knit and enjoy the fact that it's not raining. And yeah, I've got my little drink with me. It's a lemon, ginger, turmeric, black pepper mixture. I'm sure it doesn't taste very nice, but I can't taste anything, so it doesn't really matter. I've had a really hectic week of trying to finish this here, which is my newest design that I'm working on. It's gonna be a kid's cardigan with an embroidery, and I'm just finishing this version. Now I actually need to tell you about this. You'll have seen this in the last vlog already, the Wild Meadow cardigan, and it looked very different to this here. So this is a completely different yarn, and you might ask, why? Why are you knitting another one, Maria? Well, as you'll have seen in that last vlog, I had to frog sample number 2 because I wasn't happy with the neck mostly, and because I had already blocked it, everything was really curled up and I didn't have time to just give it a wash. So I decided to use my straighteners to straighten the yarn, and I've done that many times before. Now, mind you, that yarn was a worsted weight yarn. So, you know, worsted DK are very close, but they are different. And so I put it through my straighteners, wound it up into balls and knitted my next sample from it. And when I tried it on Emma, I was thinking, why is this so tight? This should not be this tight. This should have like 8 centimeters of positive ease. And so I went and checked my gauge on that garment, and the gauge had changed. I think the yarn had compressed in the process of being unwound, and it changed into more of a DK weight yarn, and so my gauge was off. And so the garment was way too small and I couldn't use it. Hence why we are knitting another sample. I did a really quick emergency order of the Drops Daisy yarn, which was the one that I used for the original very first sample, and it has stood the test of time quite well. So I thought, you know what, I'll just go back to that. I know my gauge is solid with that, and so that's what we're doing. So I'm just finishing up the second sleeve, and then I'm getting ready to weigh it without the contrasting color to be able to establish a good meterage yardage for you guys. But yeah, so that's one of the goals for today. Get the second sleeve here finished, and then I also want to knit a little sample for the next design that I'm planning on doing, which is going to be a summer top. If it works out, I mean, you know, it's the ambition to have a summer top being released, I think in July or June, but we'll see if my idea pans out and if I can get the new sort of pattern that I have in mind to work for it. So we're going to see. But we need to work a swatch first. So I'm going to do that as well today, hopefully. And then for the rest of the day, I have planned to make myself a really nice lunch because my husband and Emma are out and I have to fend for myself for my lunch. So I thought I'm going to make something really nice and delicious that I really fancy. I'm not entirely sure what that is yet. I'm thinking something sort of like Japanesey, maybe like what I like to call a fake ramen. So I usually just buy a pack of the pre-made ramen that you can get, and then I add my own toppings to it. I can't taste very much at all, so it doesn't really matter what I'm gonna have. But yeah, I think that'll make me feel better though. All right, I'm gonna keep knitting for a little while, and then we're gonna go to my local supermarket, get some ingredients for a nice lunch, maybe a little treat, and then we're gonna go home, have lunch, and continue knitting on the sofa. By the way, this is my Refuweegee hat, if you've not seen it on me before. This is the double folded brim version, so the stockinette stitch brim with the 2x2 rib, and I really love it. I love the fit of it. it's always awkward knitting and vlogging in public. Right, we're gonna get some more rows in. Toot my own horn, but I really must say that soup is delicious. I call it my fake ramen soup because it's not really ramen. I don't want to offend anyone. It's not really ramen, I know, but it tastes really nice and I can always throw in whatever I have either in the fridge or whatever I like right now. So that will definitely clear up my nose and make me feel so much better. And I can actually taste it. So great. I also have never tried adding in that miso packet from Itsu. That is something I just saw in the supermarket and I thought, you know what, it looks good. It looks good, so let's try it. And it tastes really good. It tastes delicious. It's a bit pricey, but you get, I think, 5 packets. I also feel like there is no way of eating this gracefully in front of a camera. So sorry if that looks awful. And now my nose is running. Not very aesthetic. Okay, while I'm having my lunch, I thought I would talk to you guys about something that's been on my mind the last sort of week and something that has been going around in the knitting community in the last week. And it's about a group of people who have created a sort of like chat room group thing. I forgot what platform it was on. And they basically were trading knitting patterns. It created a really big kind of uproar in the community because obviously people are like, well, but we don't want to constantly pay for this. And if I have it, why can't I give it to my friend? And the knitwear designers were obviously really upset because all their stuff is being traded illegally. And that means that they lose revenue. And I usually stay away from like talking about anything controversial or something like that on this channel because I want it to be lighthearted and I want you guys to relax while you're watching this. I don't want anybody to feel more of the heaviness of the world that we're living in. But this time I did want to say something because it obviously is really topical and I feel really strongly about it. As a knitwear designer myself, it is extremely frustrating to read about something like that and about patterns being stolen in that way and knitwear designers being put out of pocket in that way, or knitwear designers being betrayed in that way. And I really don't use that word lightly, but I feel like it is betrayal from their own community, and that is just that is what sits so deeply with it for me. It's the fact that your own community doesn't respect your work and doesn't value it enough to pay what it's worth. And I mean, in my opinion, knitting patterns are priced way too low. I think but that's a whole different topic. But yeah, it's that betrayal of your own sort of people that I think is what frustrates me the most about it, and the part that I just really don't understand. I don't know where it comes from, and I don't want to start speculating why people think that they have the right to trade these knitting patterns and not pay for them. I think there is plenty of designers who constantly run discount codes. Yeah, I just really don't understand it. I don't condone it in any way. And I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed that people think that's cool, that's okay, and that they justify it to themselves in one way or another. I don't know why they undervalue the work that goes into making a pattern so much. If you don't want to pay for it, then, just go out and do it yourself. Try it and see how much work actually goes into it, because it is a lot of work that goes into it and a lot of heartache. Beyond everything, it's skill that goes into it. And that skill has to be trained and learned over years and years of working on your craft. It's like any other craft. And so seeing it being devalued in such a way is really kind of heartbreaking. Something that I also wanted to mention is that even though these are like lighthearted vlogs about sort of my day, what kind of knitting I get up to, I also do sometimes really consciously leave in the struggles as a designer, because I want to show a bit of the reality of what it's like to make a knitwear pattern, and that it's not all just like, I knit one sample, I put something in an Excel spreadsheet and then drag the lines across, and that's all the sizes done, and then I put it into a Word document and done it is. That is absolutely not what it's like. And we really take so much care with these patterns. We really test them out. I'm sometimes fretting over a centimeter of difference in ease and how I can spin it so that the ease is more similar across all the sizes. I hire a design consultant to help me with specific grading issues that I have, to make sure that all the sizes get the same experience of the knitted piece. And I get everything tech edited twice, which is £30 an hour. And for sort of more of the standard stuff that I've made, so, no color work, no texture work, that is usually about 4 to 6 hours of just one tech edit. So there's a lot of money that goes into it. And I'm not even talking about the time that it took me to design the piece, to do my first sample, to do all the grading, which I am doing myself, to do all the layouting, the videos that I'm making. There is so much time and effort that goes into this. Never be fooled thinking that people are not putting in hard work to make these patterns. So I'm just hoping that with these videos, I can sort of show you guys a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes and how much work and effort really goes into it. And like I was talking about earlier, I am starting a new design next week, and I want to start the sample for it soon, which means I need to do my first swatch. So this is kind of a cycle where you guys are going to start seeing what it takes to develop a pattern. And I'm trying to leave in loads of it quite consciously so that you guys see. So yeah, rant over. Don't be one of those people. Don't be one of those who trade patterns with friends or anything like that. Anyway, I'm going to finish my soup now, and I want to show you something about knitting sleeves, which I think you might find interesting. That really burned badly. I'm about to put on a show and sit down with my knitting, but I thought I would show you what I was talking about with the sleeve tip. So I'm knitting the last sleeve of this cardigan, and as with any sleeve, we do decreases along the side to taper it so that it becomes smaller towards the cuff. And lots of people I see always use removable stitch markers to count where they have done a decrease and when it's time to do another. And I'm personally finding that a bit cumbersome, but what I always carry with me is a stitch counter, like a row counter, stitch counter, whatever you want to call it. It's this little device that has 2 numbers on either side, and you can control both numbers. And I just tied a little bit of yarn around it so that I can put it on my finger instead of having to put it on the needle. And basically what I do is I wear it like this. And now the first number is always going to count the amount of decreases I have already done. And the second number on that side is going to count how many rows I have worked. So for example, right now, I need to work a decrease every 5th row, and I need to work 9 of these in total. So what I do is every time I come to a new round, I change this second number here, which is counting my rows. And then once I'm at 5 on that row count, then I change this decrease count. In this case, I'll change it up to 5 now. And then I know I'm on my decrease round. And then on the next round, I'll go back to 1 for the rows. And that's how I keep track of how many decreases I've done and how many rows I have worked in between them. I just thought I'd share that because I think not many people do that. And I thought it's a bit easier than having to do the thing with the removable stitch markers. So here's a little tip for you. But yeah, I'm going to crack on with this sleeve now because I actually do need to get a bit of it done so that I can block it at the end of tonight and do all the weighing and stuff before. Let's do a little montagey bit of knitting and watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Okay, that was some nice knitting time. I really enjoyed that. Just watching some trashy TV, which is always my favorite. I think I'm going to run myself a bath now and just chill in the bath. And then I'll start on the sample that I want to knit for the summer knit piece that I have in mind. Okay, hi everyone. It's the next day. It's almost the end of the next day, to be honest, and I just wanted to show you guys what I've knitted yesterday. The little, it's a broken rib sample for my summer knit that I have an idea for, my summer design. So this is what I've knitted during the evening last night, and I really like this kind of broken rib repeat. Yeah, I really like it, and I've tried 2 different finishes. So on this side I'll do an I-cord, and on this side I've tried a different finish, and I think it looks really smart, and it would avoid having to do 2 armholes and the neckline as a finish. So you'd only have to do the neckline as an I-cord and of course the back, but the armholes you wouldn't have to. So I think that's quite smart and it looks good, and I managed to figure out a way of doing the increases here without causing any holes or disruption in this. So I'm pretty pleased with what I've done last night. My only little sort of issue is I wonder if it'll be too see-through and holey with this needle size. So that was on a 4mm. It also means there's a lot of vertical stretch in it, which again is not the nicest, just because this is half cotton, half merino yarn that I want to use for it. Yeah, I just wonder if it's a bit too much stretch, if we'd get a nicer, less stretchy fabric if we made it a bit more dense by using 3.5mm needles. I'm not a fan of being able to see my bra under my knits. And so obviously this being a summer knit, you want to just wear your bra under, nothing else. So yeah, not entirely sure. So that will be it from me for this little vlog. I'm, by the way, feeling much better today. I think I'm over the worst of it. I'm definitely getting better. It's just like a sore head from the stuffy nose. But yeah, I think the day yesterday of just doing things that did me well, that soothed me and just relaxed me was really helping. So I'm glad I did it. I'm glad you came along for it. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me. I'll let the algorithm decide what video you might want to watch next. And I hope to see you again soon in another video. Don't forget to sign up to my mailing list if you want to be notified for any test knits that are coming up. And yeah, just have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!